We're only 5 months out from the original release of Pokemon Pokopia back in March, and we already have a whole new DLC pack upgrade and a free update with the game, which is a lot more than we can say for many Nintendo franchises, so they are definitely ahead of the game on that one. Today, we are going to go over what you can do in the free download. There is a paid DLC that did drop on the same day, August 5th, at a very hefty price of $34.99. And woo, is that steep. Because if you think about it, that is half the price of the entire game that originally released at $70. So that is really, really steep. We shall see what comes of this. Will it be worth that price? Only time will tell, and literally time will have to tell, because even though it technically released on August 5th, that was just the first wave, which does include a whole new area for the underwater exploration and new characters, but it comes in 3 waves, so you still have to wait for the release of some of the accessories and other fun additions, and then you have to wait even longer until 2027 to get a brand new town, which apparently has not been released yet as to what that's going to be. Bubbly Basin is supposed to be available right now, since August 5th, for that very extensive price of $34.99. But the cool thing is they did give us the ability to go underwater now with the dive ability, and that is free to anyone who owns the base game. So we're going to be exploring that today and showing you what all you can do and the new Pokemon you can meet without a price tag. If you played through the story of the base game already, then you have upgraded your Bleak Beach to the point that you should be able to just dive right in, no pun intended, into this new dive ability and meeting this new special Pokemon that's going to teach you this ability. If you haven't done that already, or you're new to the game, you're going to need to get your Bleak Beach to an environment level of 5 before it will unlock this new ability and new Pokemon. But assuming you've done this already, Tangrowth is going to have a speech bubble over his head which says, "What could it be?" Now, this should just automatically come into your game so long as it's updated. My game automatically updated. I checked. It was just ready to go. So I ran up to Tangrowth to see what he had to say, and he points to a brand new island off in the distance, which I had noticed as I was running past. I thought that looked different. And that island is where you're going to go to meet this very special Pokemon to give you this brand new ability. Now, to do this, obviously, you're going to have to progress in the story enough to have the swim ability from Lapras. That comes through the main story, so if you've gotten that far in the game, you're going to already be able to do this. So you just run into the water, and you're going to transform into the Ditto version of Lapras and head over to that island. As you get closer, you're going to see a Pokemon laying on the sand with a speech bubble that says, "So hungry." You're going to go up to that Pokemon and start talking to them. This is going to be Man-phee, and Man-phee is going to ask you for some food because she needs to eat, apparently, after having a very long nap. So you're going to find 5 pieces of seaweed in order to give her, and then she's going to teach you a brand new ability. This ability is what's going to allow you to now reach the bottom of the ocean floor, because before, whenever you would try to go into the water, you would not be able to do it and it would reset you onto the land. So after you acquire your 5 pieces of seaweed, which should just be on the island, I already had some in my pocket, but I went around the corner and found several pieces laying. You can go up to Man-phee again, and you're going to give her the seaweed. After doing so, she is going to take it and then teach you the new dive ability. And how this is going to come about is she's going to mention that the seaweed is so delicious you must have gotten it off the ocean floor, and then you're going to respond by saying either, "I just found it lying on the ground," or "I can't dive underwater." Both are going to give you the same result. That's how Pokemon Pokopia dialogue works. They're different answers, but they lead to the same results. So she's going to tell you that you're going to imagine becoming a Pokemon who loves water. If you can think of who you found first, you're going to recognize this. Very first in the game, you find Squirtle, so you're going to think of being like Squirtle. And then she's going to teach you how to take that ability and then dive. So you're going to notice once she's finished talking, you're going to don the Squirtle tail once again, like you do when you spit water everywhere. But this time it's going to blow a bubble over your head like a helmet. So this ability is called Dive. Off to the side, you're going to notice a cave. All you're going to do is go towards that cave in order to find a surprise treasure at the bottom, and it's not that far, not very deep, so it's going to be really easy. This is basically just a tutorial to teach you how to do this, so you're just going to literally just walk into the water. You don't have to do anything special. You don't even have to have water selected. It's going to automatically put the bubble on, which is awesome. I'm so glad I didn't have to remember another button combo to figure out how to put this bubble helmet on. It just does it automatically. And then you can just walk on the bottom of the ocean floor and turn the corner, and you're going to find the Pokeball of the treasure, which, funny enough, is going to be a decorative Pokeball itself. And then you're going to head back up to Man-phee, which you can just climb up. They are going to teach you later how to swim. You can swim with that bubble helmet. But Man-phee is going to say, hey, great, you found the treasure. And she's going to talk about needing to go somewhere and find a new home, which I think kind of leads into what will probably be the DLC if you have bought that. She's probably not going to show up other than that. Then you're going to have this little tutorial on how to dive. You can hold B while underwater to swim, and you can press L or R to float up or down. And then you can float in place by holding ZL, and then if you let go all those buttons and quickly spin the left stick, you'll go to the bottom of the ocean floor very quickly if you've been floating. So we're going to test all that out now. You just jump right into the water. You automatically sink down. If you press B, like you're used to pressing B to swim or whatever for other games, that's not going to work. It's going to try to transform you into surf. You just want to hold B down, and that will make you swim forward. Going up or down, you're going to use the left and right trigger buttons, and then let go of all the buttons and spin the left stick very quickly to go down to the ground. Pressing that ZL will make you kind of float in place. I pressed ZR and I was able to float in place, but I also looked like I was trying to spit water, so I think that was kind of strange, but it did technically work. You can swim quite fast, actually, in the water. Now, while I was exploring off this little island, I did go a little bit towards the main island, but off to the right side, and I found this brand new gate under the water. Now, this gate is locked, and this is going to be from the downloadable content only. So if you do not have the DLC, then you are not going to be able to access this gate. So keep that in mind. This is only through the expansion pass, so we will leave that alone for now. We're going to go back and test out a few things to see exactly what we can do underwater with this free update. Swimming's pretty easy. I like how fast you swim. I was really concerned it was going to be this slow, kind of dragging movement. Some games, swimming is just not fun. But I swam all the way over towards the SSN. This was a new save file that I was working on for some of this stuff, not my main save file, so I totally forgot that it was going to call out to me from the SSN, the Pokemon on there, and ask where its home was, because I hadn't done that all in this save file yet. So just ignore that. That's nothing to do with the DLC or the free update. That's part of the main storyline that I just didn't do on this one yet. But it's pretty easy to navigate, and I like how when you jump out of the water, you automatically just take that bubble off your head. So there's no figuring out when you need to hit something so you don't accidentally go down into the water without the bubble or have to take it off when you come back up. You can switch between surf and dive pretty easily. It knows what to do. Sometimes it can be a little tricky to get it in the right place, just because it kind of bounces back and forth a little bit. Overall, it doesn't make it hard on you, and you don't have to worry about getting it exactly right. You do have to swim up if you want to jump out of the water. Otherwise, you can hit B to turn into Lapras, and it'll pull you up to the top of the water. You can rock smash underneath the water surface, so that's pretty cool. You can suck the things up to store and place and move around, and all those things you would do above the water. So that's really cool. I didn't know if that would be something we could really be able to do without paying for the DLC, but they made it possible to actually build underwater, even without that downloadable expansion pass. You can run and walk underwater, which is also cool. You don't have to swim the whole time if you don't want to. You can place blocks just like you would normally. It just spits it right out. Even though you have the bubble helmet, you can move around easily to build just like normal. And so far I played around with a couple of different materials. I was surprised what all I could actually put underwater. It was way more than I thought. Not just like sand and building blocks, but other things too. You can also use leafage under the water. It made it mossy on the sandy floor. The rototiller did not work, so it doesn't allow you to like plant crops underwater apparently, which makes sense. Surprisingly, I did not think rollout would work, but it actually put the bubble around the rollout boulder. I was pleasantly surprised and also very amused by this because I was definitely not expecting that. You can also smash through things just like you can on the surface. I saw this boulder, so I tried pushing it. You can push as well. Same way, you just hold A down when you're next to a heavy object and you can move it around. I noticed some wood over here and some logs, so I decided to swim that direction to see if I could use the cut to slice those things, and it worked perfectly. Nothing is different from what it just normally is above ground on the surface. Everything just kind of floats in place, so thankfully it doesn't like float away from you really fast or anything like that. It just sort of hangs there in the water, making it really, really easy. They really did a great job on these mechanics, and I'm glad they actually put things on the ocean floor so it's not just a boring area of sand. You can actually camouflage as whatever you find down there. Now, obviously there's not going to be much down there unless you place it, but I did find these objects over by the new gate that they have, so I tried that out. So that's pretty fun. I like that you can actually run, not just walk. Same method as before. Now, I tried seeing if one of the water characters would follow me. So Piplup actually did dive down to the bottom of the ocean floor with me, and I could talk to him down there, and he was just totally fine. So was Lapras. I really thought Lapras was just going to hang out on the surface, but came right down and watched me decorate. So that was fun. I tried placing several items down there, even the bathtub, and believe it or not, it did tell me I could get in it. I did not know what was going to happen here. Ditto got in the tub, and then had a bubble around Ditto, so okay, that works. I placed all kinds of stuff, and then I thought to myself, well, I want to see what kind of flowers and bushes and stuff I can put down there, if that will even work. So I used the rototiller and pulled up some flowers nearby, and they went right into the water. And just like normal, as long as you find ground that it can be planted in, it went right in. I did the same thing with bushes. I even stored them in my pocket area and planted the bushes underwater, and grass too. So you can see I have grass and bushes, and they all work great. I did not try to plant any trees or anything because you can't dig those up the same way, but I'm thinking it might be possible, especially with the new DLC, they might have that option. You can use your camera underwater. Thankfully, apparently your camera's waterproof, so I got some pictures and videos of me and the two Pokemon I brought along with me with my new little decorated area. Very simple, very small, but I just wanted to test it out. I even got the fountain down there and it was blowing bubbles. It was super cute. I really like that they have added this. It's very neat. Presumably you could make some habitats underwater for Pokemon that are fine with being underwater. I am not certain how that's going to work or if they're going to like it, but it seems like it might be a possibility at least. So I really like this new addition. I think it's really cool. It's worth having as an extra ability. Maybe it won't pan out to be much. There might not be much we can build that would be that interesting since there's no actual town with this free update and no interactive elements in that way. But since you can put some interactive elements under the water, it might just be a nice, cool little other habitat-like area for your Pokemon that you can just sort of hang out and have fun with it. So I like it. I am glad that they gave us something free outside of that $34.99 price tag. which is once again very, very steep. Personally, I think that's overpriced. I'll be interested to see how many people actually do that and if it's successful, and also if they put it on sale anytime soon, like sooner than you'd think, because sometimes they do that. Downloadable content for other games have been known to have sales, so I am hopeful that at least sometime in the future, maybe after the 2027 release of the new town, maybe it goes on sale, because that's pretty pricey. So I'd like to see more people be able to play that without that extensive price tag attached to it. But let me know in the comments, are you playing Pokopia? Did you enjoy this free update or try it yet? Did you get the DLC and what do you think of it? Join the conversation and follow along with all our videos by subscribing to Crosswitch Gaming. We'd love to have you as part of the community. As always, we hope you have a very blessed day, and we will see you for our next video.